What's one thing you're proud of doing this week? I got my first job. Edit. Thank you so much everyone. I'm about to start my first shift and am nervous but pretty excited at the same time. Good for you. Congrats. I'm a week in to not biting my nails and cuticles. I've been mangling them my whole life and I've really been focusing on not being ashamed of my hands. You can do it. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. It'll be less tempting once they're all healed up. Appreciate the encouragement. It's definitely easier seeing the results of the not biting. I made bread. Cool. What kind? Plain white loaf, but it was the first time ever. I worked out 5 days last week and cut back on drinking. That's great. Keep it up. Thank you. Quarantine has been a wild ride. Went from working 2 physically active jobs the last 10 plus years, dog daycare and server, to being unemployed as of March 15th. Still unemployed. At least 10-15 pounds heavier, and my alcohol tolerance is at an all-time high. Finally became aware of my depression funk I've been in the last 6 months, and trying to pull myself out. The cake I baked turned out great. Delicious and soft. Cake makes everything better, especially other cake. Played it safe by working from home this week due to stuffy nose. Test results came back yesterday. I have COVID. It sucks. But I'm glad I didn't spread it to my coworkers. Responsible, considerate and professional decision. I hope you get well soon. Thank you. Luckily, my symptoms haven't gotten much worse, so I got off pretty well, all things considered. I finally fixed the wonky leg that has been a problem on my coffee table since I got it 15 years ago. Apparently epoxy is way better than wood glue. Nice. I love getting small annoying things that aren't necessary but are bothersome done. As a volunteer for Children's Reading Day at our public library, I helped young readers find books that might be of specific interest to them, an especially rewarding effort during this pandemic. As a former librarian, thank you. We had some of the most incredible volunteers, and many of the things we did wouldn't have happened without volunteers like you. I reached my first 7-day streak on Duolingo and finished the basics course in Irish Gaelic. I was doing French and was doing so well then I got depressed and quit. I need to go back to it. Good for you. Exclamation mark. I'm doing French and I'm depressed. If I can do it you can too. Finally deciding to get help for my mental issues. I'm proud of you. Admitting you need help is a difficult but important first step. Good luck. Finally booked my first psychiatry appointment. I've been needing to, but keep putting it off. I hope it helps you as much as you're hoping it will. BetterHelp.com. It's where I'm starting. Low pressure. A company I interviewed with pre-COVID gave me a ring and want to bring me on with them at double my current salary. Cue the imposter syndrome. There's a reason they want to hire you. Don't forget that. You've got this. Exclamation mark. I noticed that a lot of my friends weren't good for me and I stopped hanging out with them. It means I'm alone a lot more but ultimately it was a good move. That's one of the most difficult things to do, even as an older person. Good for you for prioritizing your successes and well-being. It will make a tremendous difference. Toxic friendships suck. Being alone doesn't have to mean being lonely. Better peaceful solitude than poisonous companionship. I have 3 coworkers. Each one of them has called out once this past week, including my boss, and I was the one that kept the train on the rails each time. Up until recently they've been very unsure of keeping me permanently due to COVID, but I've got the attention of the higher ups, so it looks like I'm keeping my job. That's so great. I'm really happy for you. You must be really good at your job. I think I am. I've only ever done this kind of work at this company, so maybe I'm just the least shitty they have, and a job change would put me in my place. But I'm definitely the most capable and willing employee in my department at the moment. My excellent supervisor aside, I can cover her responsibilities for a day, but I couldn't do her work full time. A plank for 2 minutes and 15 seconds. I've been trying for months. It's possible you only tried once and it just felt like months. LMAO. My wife loves sloths. It was our anniversary and I was able to surprise her with a visit to zoo that lets you interact with sloths. That is so wholesome. Landed a good job after being laid off for 5 months. Showered. I feel you. I'm proud of still not drinking alcohol this week. I've been going through quite the rough patch, but I know from experience that a drink would just make it worse. 10 days sober and going strong. I negotiated a promotion and got it. Way to go. Didn't kill myself because of my tinnitus. Have you tried the finger flicking method? Take your palms and put them over your ears where your fingers are grabbing onto the back of your neck. Then, as many times as you need to, take your index finger and, with as much force, to make as much noise, flick your index finger off your middle finger like 20 or 30 times. This should reduce the ringing a substantial amount. I do it, and it helps me tremendously. Edit. Thank you kind stranger for the award. I can't quite picture how to do this, but I'm very interested. Just fingers flicking off each other, but not hitting our head at all? Why does this work? I voted and mustered up the courage to leave my apartment to have a nice dinner for my birthday. Belated happy birthday. I cleaned my house. I have been in a depressive episode, but I'm starting to recognize the behaviors that lead into it and can tell when I'm not doing okay. It's not big but it's something. It's a lot. I'm proud of you. Probably an unconventional thing to be proud of, but I stood up to a guy at work who's been an asshole/bully to me for going on a couple months now. We used to get along decently but there was a disagreement between him and a different guy and I took the other guy's side and ever since then he's treated me like shit. I was having a really shitty week even without his trash talking, but he's a kick em when they're down kind of guy, and anytime something happened that stressed me out he'd start talking shit again and make it worse. Friday one of the times he went to say something smart I just snapped and yelled fuck you at his general direction and kept walking to where I was going without looking back. Proud of you friend. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. For a long time I've pined for someone dear to me and gotten some mixed signals back. This week I threw caution to the wind and I decided to man up and lay it all on the line. It didn't work out, but at least I did it, and with the hope crushed, I can pick myself up and move on. I'm a hopeless romantic, but I'm not a simp. Now the door's open for the right person. You shouldn't care if it takes a lot of tries. It was brave of you. On Friday we locked our mortgage interest rate at such a good deal that our closing costs are under $3K total. And in the same hour, the appraisal report was delivered and is for $500 higher than what we negotiated. It all feels like a perfect purchase. Fuck yes. Breaking out of the fog of a shutdown and getting back to work on an assignment I had basically given up on. How did you accomplish this monumental feat? A certain thought process. Once my thoughts became coherent again, it went something like this. Why don't I just drop out of college? If I drop out of college, I'll never get to see my friends again. I wish I had someone to talk to about this. Remember last year when you were struggling? Remember what your friend said? Yeah, I've got this. And there's a paper in your fleece pocket right now with the word this written on it. But it's downstairs. I need that paper. I can get up and work a little more at this assignment. Finishing a book in one sitting. When I read, I usually read for leisure and in short periods every other day or so. This book, When Breath Becomes Air, gave me some answers to mortality that I desperately need. On my first reading I felt it was too profound for me, and in the second reading, everything just clicked. It brought me through a moral journey a man took with bravery and courage in the face of mortality. Being able to relate to the book enriched my understanding of the philosophical details and made my first and second reading a world of difference. Peeking into his journey to death changed my worldview about mortality entirely. Worked out for the first time in 6 months. I had been doing really well with my workout routine at college, but when COVID made me go home I fell into a super depressed state. I've been climbing my way back up, and I finally did a workout this past Friday. Even though it hurt like hell, it felt so good. I was planning to get a gym membership right before they went into lockdown. Same thing happened to me. Still depressed. Hopefully I'll climb my way out soon. Got a girlfriend. Kudos. I was nominated for Teacher of the Year for the second time in a row. Decided to quit smoking after 10 years. Good on you. Hope it goes smooth and well for you, friend. Thank you. Went out for the first time with friends after my recent breakup. So proud of you. You can do this. Remember that every person who leaves your life is just another brick in your road through life. Letting go of that brick is difficult, but in the end it'll help you continue building your road. This is a really cool way of looking at it. I've been depressed as hell for a while, but this weekend I pulled out my art supplies and painted a pretty big painting. It's not quite done, but it's shaping up pretty well considering how little painting I've done for the past couple years. I'm happy with the progress. I know it's lame, but I started a paint by numbers a while back and never finished it. This reminded that I should do that. Good for you. Not lame at all. It's great for getting an eye for painting. Consider it kinda like a tutorial for a video game. Thanks. I really appreciate it. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.